Hello everyone, welcome to the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the running of the Golden Corral 500 here in Atlanta, Georgia. Dale Jarrett and Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Dales, on the front row with last week's winner Tony Stewart and Matt Kenseth in row 2. Bobby Labonte completes the Joe Gibbs Racing top 5 with Rusty Wallace in 6th. What a run though you see right here by Jeff Green in the 43 car, if I can get a good... that's going to suck. Jeff Green in the 43 Pop Secret Machine. He will be starting 7th for this race. Kevin Harvick in row 4 with him. Kurt Busch and Mark Martin, your Rockingham winner, and a very strong driver with the best average qualifying start. Mark Martin, he starts in 10th. In 11th is Ryan Newman. In 12th, Terry Labonte. 13th, Casey Kanan. A surprise by Johnny Benson. Phoenix Racing, he will start 14th. And Kyle Petty rounds out the Petty Enterprises top 15. Matt Crafton, the rookie sensation, filling in for Robbie Gordon. Still, he starts 16th. Behind him is Brian Vickers and Greg Biffle starting 17th and 18th, with Jeff Burton and Jamie McMurray rounding out the top 20. Ricky Rudd will start 21st, with Jeremy Mayfield 22nd. 23rd is Elliott Sadler, and 24th, Sterling Marlin. 25th, Michael Waltrip, and 26th is J.J. Yaley, making his first start of the season. 27th is Martin Truex Jr. 28th, Kerry Earnhardt. 29th is Jimmy Spencer, and 30th, Ward Burton. 31st, Scott Wimmer. 32nd, the 01 of Joe Nemechek. 33rd, Brendan Gaughan. 34th, Scott Riggs. 35th, Johnny Sauter, and 36th, Casey Mears. 37th, Ken Schrader, and 38th, Arnold Motorsports, finally making a race outside of the Daytona 500. Derek Cope pilots that 50 car into the show. 39th and 40th, a surprise, Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. Terrible qualifying runs. Right now, they will be 39th and 40th. They got in via their points. And then 41st, Ricky Craven, and 42nd, Dave Blaney. Those two also got in through their points. And speaking of points, this is what the point standings look like right now. Kurt Busch is in the points lead. He has a 110-point gap over Dale Earnhardt Jr., who sits second. Jeff Gordon is in third with that 111 points out of the top spot. Ricky Rudd 112 points out of the top spot in fourth, and Ryan Newman is 121 back in fifth. The rest of the chase as they sit right now is Casey Kane, Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth, Mark Martin, and Greg Biffle. Johnny Sauter sits 11th, Michael Waltrip 12th, Elliott Sadler 13th, Dale Jarrett 14th, Terry Labonte in 15th. So, we're only 30 seconds away from the command to fire the engines at Atlanta. We'll see if all 42 drivers will be able to make the lap. If not, of course, the restart policy for these races. But Dale Jarrett, a great show there. He gets to start this race on the pole with Dale Earnhardt Jr. in second. Dale, of course, coming so close to the Daytona 500 this season, being held up by lap traffic and allowing Ricky Rudd to pass him right at the end. But now, coming down, we are getting the commands. Drivers, start your engines, and the engines all fired here at Atlanta. Dale Jarrett, again, leading us down. Tony Stewart sitting in third. He will be leading us down with Joe Gibbs, the third and fifth for them, and J.J. Yaley in that 11 back in the 28th position. But all 42 drivers are going to take their cars up onto the high banks of Atlanta. There are 42 drivers in this field, and there are 42 drivers in this field for 65 laps for the Golden Corral 500. Dale Jarrett leading us down. For those of you in chat, I would like you to let me know if the race is stuttering, if the stream is stuttering at all. It looks so on my preview window. So just make sure you let me know on that. I'll turn some settings down. But we are coming down to the take the green flag. Tony Stewart, he has one DNF this season at Daytona, and he finished outside of the top 25 at Rockingham after dominating that entire race. He came back last week at Las Vegas, and he took that win. So Joe Gibbs Racing, it's been a struggle of a season for both of their drivers, but right now they're starting third and fifth, looking to turn this season around, as well as Jeff Green in that 43 starting 7th. A great job for Petty Enterprises after both of their cars missed the Daytona 500. Coming down, it's going to be a 65-lap event. Coming down to take the green flag, Dale Jarrett, Dale Jr. lead us down, and we're racing for 65 laps at the Golden Corral 500. Dale Jarrett jumps out into the early lead. You see Jeff Green in that 43. He's kind of a bit slower than some of these faster cars, but now Dale Jarrett will take the lead away. Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte working that inside line. Jeff Green there, Kyle Petty there, Ricky Rudd now sent 3 wide. Ward Burton drops down to the inside in the back, but now that brings Tony Stewart in that 20 car. Looking for 2 weeks in a row he could go to victory lane. He moves himself clear into second. Battle for third now. Dale Jr. is going to be able to clear Bobby Labonte. Now Stewart is going to make the move on Dale Jarrett. Robert Yates Racing has not shown much speed this season. Elliott Sadler's been mired back in the pack. Dale Jarrett as well. But with this race, this could be a turnaround. He's now fighting off Tony Stewart. The field further back. There goes Kurt Busch making some moves, looking to make it 3 wide on Bobby Labonte. That's what he's going to do for that 5th position. And what a move there. Tony Stewart takes the lead away, but they are fighting hard all throughout this field. There you see all 42 cars on the wide angle shot, 3 wide further back. Dale Jr. now going to make the move to the inside of Tony Stewart for the race lead. We'll see if he can hang on, but Joe Gibbs Racing has seemed strong on these 1.5 milers this season. Of course, Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte both getting top 10 runs. Last week at Vegas. Kurt Busch now diving to the inside. He is your Rockingham winner. Matt Kenseth in that 17. You still see the Pop Secret 43 of Jeff Green. He's hanging on up here, but Dale Jarrett starting to fall back on that outside line. Further back, Johnny Benson in this 09. He sits in the 14th position. A great qualifying effort by him, and now he's running inside the top 15. And there's Matt Crafton, the rookie sensation, as we've said many times this season for RCR, filling in for Robbie Gordon and doing an excellent job at it. He is inside the top 35 in points right now. Could be great to see this 31 team prosper, especially if they keep Matt Crafton during the season. But now Dale Jr. in that 8 car, he dives down to the inside right there, and Kurt Busch sitting behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. Roush Racing has been a dominant team this season. They had Kurt Busch. Of course, he's your points leader. He has not finished worse than 3rd this season so far. This 97 team looking for a championship this season. Side by side now for that 3rd position. Tony Stewart is going to be able to clear Matt Kenseth. But Kenseth, he led for most of the Rockingham race and then lost it at the end to Kurt Busch. So Kenseth looking for some of that redemption. Jeff Green in 6th. We just have to keep mentioning this team, Petty Enterprises. They did not make the Daytona 500. That put them in a very poor start. And right now, Jeff Green, he sits 41st in points. That won't help him much if he is not able to qualify for races again. But now 6th in this race, and he's still running in 6th. This could be a great day if he can hang on up front here. Johnny Benson also in that 09 making some moves. We'll go back through the field a little bit more. There's Kyle Petty. Jeff Burton in that 99. You saw last week, if we can get to him, you saw last week he got turned by Kyle Petty, and Ward Burton got turned by Kyle Petty, got sent up into Brother Jeff. Both of those drivers ended up DNFing that race. You see the field right now. Back in this pack, there's Ricky Rudd, Michael Waltrip, Greg Biffle. Jimmy Johnson, he started in the 39th spot. He's right now up to 26th and moving forward, so he is faring a little bit better than Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon now stuck in the heavy traffic in the back. Derek Cope also there. J.J. Yaley sits 42nd. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the driver out in front, in the top 5 of starting to get single file. We'll go ahead and take you guys with a flyby down the back straightaway. As you see all the cars rushing, there is that big middle pack. That is what is the scariest part there. There you see the battle back here. J.J. Yaley, Brendan Gaughan went upside down last week at Las Vegas. He is okay racing again, but it looks like these are the struggling teams. PPI as well for Ricky Craven, a big struggle for them. Scott Riggs and that 10 team haven't shown much. There's Derek Cope in his first start since the Daytona 500. Jeff Gordon right now is up to the 31st position, trying to move on up. Johnny Sauter in that 31. Martin Truex making his 2nd start of the season in that number 1 car. And Sterling Marlin. Chip Ganassi Racing has not given these guys any cars, I should say, any good equipment at all. Jamie McMurray's been able to somehow perform, but Sterling Marlin has finished worse than 20th twice, and Casey Mears missed the first 2 races of the season, so it looks like Jamie McMurray in the 42 team is the only good thing about Chip Ganassi this season. But right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads over Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte, and Ryan Newman. That top 6 battle. We'll take another flyby here so you can see how spread out the field is, and that's that big pack of cars further back there that are all fighting. There is Jimmy Johnson. We will go on board with this 48 car. He is right now in the 20th position, and he is carving his way through this field. A very fast 48 here, though. His qualifying setup was pretty poor. He's going to make it 3 wide on Kyle Petty and Ricky Rudd, and you see Terry Labonte just up ahead. All of Hendrick this weekend are running the silver paint schemes in honor. I think it's an anniversary for Hendrick, was 2004, but they are all running silver paint schemes multiple times this season. So Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Terry Labonte, and Brian Vickers will be looking the same, all of them with that gray paint. And there is Dale Jarrett now into the clutches of his teammate Elliott Sadler. That is back for the 15th position. So Dale Jarrett in the 88 car has not had the speed that he had in qualifying. Back up front, it is the top 6 just remaining single file. Kurt Busch now will try and move on Dale Jr. Not going to happen there. Mark Martin clearing to 7th. Casey Kane 8th. Kevin Harvick 9th. Rusty Wallace 10th. Jeff Green, Johnny Benson, and Matt Crafton. 3 surprises this race. They're all up here. Brian Vickers as well could be a surprise, but Johnny Benson in this 09 car. What a run for Phoenix Racing they've had this season, announcing they were going full-time this season with the 09. He is up here still inside the top 11. Jeff Green starting to fall back to still. That's just with that Petty Enterprises equipment not very strong. Dale Jarrett and now Elliott Sadler trying to make the move under Brian Vickers. And you see all of Hendrick now. Vickers leads the Hendrick Motorsports team. He right now sits in that 15th position. Terry Labonte, Jimmy Johnson trying to catch up with him. Jeremy Mayfield further back here. Joe Nemechek 3 wide. Jeff Gordon is now starting to put the pedal to the metal. He's to the inside of Ricky Rudd. Rudd has not had anything since the Daytona 500. It's been a struggle for him. Jeff Burton as well, a struggling Roush Racing entry there. Jamie McMurray in the 42. He's stuck in the back. But a lot of drivers just trying to work their way up through the field or trying not to just crash. Ryan Newman now. He picked off Bobby Labonte. He's going to pick off Matt Kenseth now. Newman dominated at Las Vegas last week until pit stops. Tony Stewart was able to get around him via the help of the lap car of Kyle Petty. And now Newman, he ended up finishing 2nd that race. Looking for redemption here as well as Matt Kenseth for 2 dominating performances that both of them lost because of lap traffic. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. in this number 8 is out in front. If you remember the Daytona 500, he was the driver that was leading most of it at the end. When all those crashes took out a lot of drivers, the 8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. with his teammate Michael Waltrip were the 2 that were able to work up to the front and remain up in the front. Dale Earnhardt Jr., he wants to win on a 1.5 miler or just not a super speedway this season. That could be his first win, which is a surprise. Daytona, Talladega, 2 of his best tracks. Kurt Busch sitting in 2nd. He is your points leader in that Irwin Tools number 97. He won Rockingham 2 weeks ago, and now he's looking to go once again. His average finish is 2nd this season. He got a 2nd at Daytona, a 1st at Rockingham, and a 3rd at Las Vegas. If he can finish up here again, that could be an outstanding performance to start the season for Roush Racing. Tony Stewart in the Daytona 500, he was crashed out. Even in the duels, he had a bit of damage. But now this 20 team, they came back at Rockingham. They were up front in the top 5 for most of the race. Fuel took him out at the end. There was an issue on the 20. I believe a flat tire or fuel was the issue at Rockingham, and that cost him all the way back to the 27th position in that race, which was another disappointing finish at Las Vegas last week. He was able to play some pit strategy, have a strong pit crew, and he was able to beat Ryan Newman, who sits in 4th. And as Newman is running in 4th, he is seeing that 20 in his windshield, and he knows he wants to beat him. Las Vegas was his race to win until the end. His pit crew slowed him up, and now Ryan Newman sitting in that 4th position for Penske, while Rusty Wallace sits in the 10th position. Newman could be a threat to win this race. And Matt Kenseth in 5th. He dominated Rockingham, led over 60 laps there. He has the most laps led this season of any driver. But this 17 team in Roush Racing, they are very strong. He's just looking for that first win of the season. He is your defending champion. Bobby Labonte sitting in 6th. Joe Gibbs Racing has not been too kind to him. He's had a few mishaps the first 3 races. Las Vegas, again, was a great run for Joe Gibbs in general, and now he's looking to continue that here at Atlanta. Mark Martin in 7th. He won his duel on that Thursday for the Daytona 500. Started himself in that 4th position, did not really do much after that. He almost won Rockingham. He was in the 4th position there. And Las Vegas, he was just solid in that top 10. Casey Kane in the 9, he sits in the 8th position. A great run for this rookie this season so far, looking to bring Evernham their first win in a while. Their first win since Bill Elliott era, which was only about 4 races ago. Kevin Harvick in 9th back in 2001. He was signed on to take the 29 team in the Good Wrench colors for RCR, and he went on to win this race just barely ahead of Bobby Labonte. Kevin Harvick and this 29 team are looking to repeat that success here today. And Rusty Wallace sitting in 10th. The top 10 are the drivers who have pulled away. Look at the gap they have over now. Who is in 11th? That is Johnny Benson. Maybe that's why, with a slower 09. But Rusty Wallace in this 2 team, not as strong as his counterpart Ryan Newman. But right now, the 2 team of Rusty Wallace are just trying to defend and race for this win. Ryan Newman up to 3rd. Kurt Busch now in the race lead. A bit of stuff has happened up front, but now Roush looking for their 2nd win of the season. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and DEI have had a bit of a struggle getting up to date on these ovals. Right now he sits 2nd, and Ryan Newman is clear into that 3rd position. Could be big. Matt Kenseth now working to the inside of Tony Stewart. That is for that 4th position. Go ahead and get up on those monitors. Turn it up. It's time for the NASCAR on NBC. Crank it up. The battle for the lead starting to heat up. Dale Jr. got the push from Ryan Newman. Here comes Jr. to the inside of Kurt Busch. Ryan Newman, could he make it 3 wide? Matt Kenseth also up there in that 17. Here comes DEI fighting right back. Outside line's going to work a little bit better for a little bit. And now Jr. powering back on that inside line. Matt Kenseth up in 4th. You see Mark Martin still up here. Rusty Wallace starting to drop back. But now Ryan Newman's going to be up on that outside line. Matt Kenseth as well. Newman is powering on that outside. Could he take 2nd away from Dale Jr. right here with an outside line move? Down the front straightaway, it's going to be close, but Newman will be 2nd that lap. And now Matt Kenseth is trying to make it 2 or 3 wide even with that 12 and 8. But now Jr. going to drop back on the inside line. Give 2nd position now to Team Penske, Ryan Newman, and that Mobil 1, number 12. Dale Jr. dropping back to 3rd. Matt Kenseth now on the outside, and they go wide. This is going to be pit stops. Green flag pit stops are going to happen here, and just under the fuel window, which means we might be able to see a fuel strategy race if this race goes green the entire way. Everyone coming on down real close between them all. Matt Crafton brings them down as well. Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson both now inside this big battle. Jeff Green and Johnny Benson almost getting together. Jimmy Johnson stacking up the field further back there, and everyone coming down this time. This is going to be a busy pit road that we see here. The drivers that stayed out: Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane, Bobby Labonte, Vickers, Gordon, McMurray, Petty, Wimmer, Mears, Spencer, and Yaley. Dale Jarrett already came in, so did Jeff Burton. They will be the first ones coming back out here at Atlanta, but we'll go ahead and see. There you see the rest of the field now going to be coming on in, and it will be Ryan Newman leading this group of cars back out on track. He jumps Kurt Busch on pit road, so does Dale Jr. Busch, Stewart, Martin, Harvick's going to be up there. Jimmy Johnson, look at Matt Crafton, that 31. RCR is giving him everything he needs to possibly win a race, and now Matt Crafton could be in the battle with Jimmy Johnson. They both pass Rusty Wallace, but Ryan Newman has let away. We'll take a look, and you can see the flyby as they come off. Back onto pit road. There's Dale Jarrett further back. Ryan Newman might be in the lead. Matt Crafton's going to be in the top 10. There's Jeff Burton. Jeff Green's going to stay up here. Ricky Rudd gained some spots. So did Joe Nemechek. And Derek Cope in that 50 car going to gain a lot. Johnny Benson, Scott Riggs further back. There's Mayfield dropping a whole lot of spots. Everyone else coming back on out. So we'll see. Where is the race leader? Terry Labonte's number 5 blowing up. He has some damage from pit road. So an issue on the 5 car. That's going to be the end of the day for one of the 4 Hendrick cars. Terry Labonte's day done in the number 5. We're going to go back up to the front, which is Ryan Newman in that 12, and it is now Newman holding the lead after pit stops just like he did at Las Vegas. Kurt Busch is now back in second. The battle for third goes between Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt Jr., 5th Tony Stewart, 6th Matt Kenseth, 7th Casey Kane, 8th Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson from 39th starting spot. He's up in the 9th position. If there's a caution, this could be big for Hendrick Motorsports. Bobby Labonte 10th, Dale Jarrett 11th, Matt Crafton in 12th, Elliott Sadler 13th, Rusty Wallace 14th, Jeff Burton in 15th. 16th, Michael Waltrip. 17th, Jeff Gordon. 18th, Jeff Green. 19th, Johnny Benson. And 20th, Jamie Mack. Then Rudd, Biffle, Vickers, Nemechek, and Wimmer, your top 25. Marlin, Mears, Cope, Petty, and Ward Burton, the top 30. Dave Blaney, 31st. Sauter, 32nd. Spencer, 33rd. Truex, 34th. And Craven, 35th. In 36th, Kerry Earnhardt. 37th, Scott Riggs. 38th, J.J. Yaley. 39th, Jeremy Mayfield. 40th, Brendan Gaughan. 41st and 42nd, Terry Labonte out of this race. He will finish last, and Ken Schrader 2 laps down in the number 49. Now the battle is for the 3rd position. We'll take the helicopter view here so you can see the distance between these top 5, but you can't even see Ryan Newman at this point. Tony Stewart just trying to get that draft, get himself up there. There is the distance. You see Ryan Newman just at the top of the screen, but kind of blending into the track. Maybe that's how he was able to get out real quick. But Ryan Newman just taking off with this one. This looks like it could be his race to lose once again. Will pit stops or will a caution be the thing that could take it out? There's Ken Schrader. He's back on track. Matt Crafton, he's had a lot of screen time here this season, and for good reason. His 3rd career NASCAR Nextel Cup Series start, and he's in 12th once again at Rockingham. He started 39th, had to race his way in, or had to point his way into the race using Robbie Gordon's points. The 31 team went from 39th and finished inside the top 15 at Las Vegas. They started a little higher, up in the top 20s, but still, he finished inside the top 15. And today he's looking for a possible top 10 run if he can get up there and battle with Bobby Labonte. Kurt Busch now has lost some time to that race leader, and now Mark Martin in that 6 car bringing him back up. The draft train is going to be strong over Ryan Newman, and now they gained 3/10 that time by. So the Roush Racing Fords are leading this field up with Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart. Atlanta is a big draft track. These 1.5 milers you can run almost flat out, which means draft is the big important thing here. And no matter how fast you are, Ryan Newman, I don't think that 12 can hang on that high for that long on his own. But now it looks like the top 5 might be able to pull away. You see 6th through 9th. They're also in a line. They could be up there battling for this race win soon. And further back now, Matt Crafton working under Dale Jarrett. Elliott Sadler, Rusty Wallace making some battles. Jeff Gordon trying to move on up. Brian Vickers, after those pit stops, they kind of put him behind the rest of his Hendrick drivers, and now he's back battling with a bunch of drivers as well. Joe Nemechek in the 01. MB2 Motorsports struggling this season. The 01 did not make the Daytona 500. Right now, MB2, this is probably one of their best runs they've had in a while. Kyle Petty has dropped very far back since where he started at the beginning of this race. And there is Ryan Newman in that 12. Let's take a look at the gap. Brendan Gaughan coming out of turn number 4, and Ryan Newman entering turn 3. So I think that Brendan Gaughan could be a lap car as we enter the end of this race. The pit stops at the end. The pit stops as they run right now, the fuel window would end about lap number 56. Which is 9 laps short of the race finish. If we see a caution, that will probably be the big thing. Kurt Busch now with the Roush Racing powerhouse. The Roush Yates engines in that 97 and 6. They're moving back up for the battle for the race lead around Ryan Newman and that 12 car. And now Kurt Busch is going to jump back down. Busch has been the best driver of the season the only driver with 3 top 5s this season, and the only driver with 3 top 10s this season as well. Kurt Busch has been an unstoppable force. Do not think that he won't be the fan favorite coming out of here. He could even be ahead by a full race at this point in the season due to second place Dale Earnhardt Jr. being a little further back behind him. Maybe not a full lap behind. But so what, Bobby Labonte? Someone went down pit road. Jimmy Johnson is not on track anymore. What happened to Johnson? Jimmy Johnson, a header issue on the 48. That takes 2 of the 4 Hendrick cars out of this race now. Mark Martin is up into second. Ryan Newman now drops to the 3rd position after being up front. Kurt Busch and the Roush Racing duo of Kurt Busch and Mark Martin, they are now your race leaders. Tony Stewart battling now for the 4th position on Dale Earnhardt Jr. Matt Kenseth sits 6th. Battle for 7th between Casey Kane and Kevin Harvick. Bobby Labonte is now in 9th. And Matt Crafton looking for that first top 10. That is the battle for the top 10 there between Matt Crafton, Elliott Sadler, Rusty Wallace, and Dale Jarrett. Ooh. It is right now the top 6 breaking away. Kane and Harvick trying to get themselves up towards the front. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 8 now, making a move down to the inside on Ryan Newman. That's a battle for that 3rd position. But Roush Racing has been the dominant powerhouse all season long. Mark Martin has the best qualifying average of anyone coming into this. Mark's average qualifying, average starting position was 2.67. He did not start. This is the worst start of his season so far. He started 10th in this race. Kurt Busch in the 97 has the best average finish of 2nd heading into this race. He also has an average starting position of 7th. So Roush Racing and those Roush Yates engines and these cars are the biggest threat to anyone else trying to win this championship. Matt Kenseth in that 17, he's going to try to dive 3 wide on Stewart. Not going to happen. This is what Ryan Newman gets for being out in front so far. He's now back to the back because of that draft. Dropping that 12 pretty slow. Kurt Busch up front, Mark Martin 2nd, Dale Jr. 3rd, Tony Stewart 4th, Matt Kenseth 5th, and Ryan Newman round out the top 6 with Casey Kane and Kevin Harvick continuing to battle for that 7th position. Bobby Labonte 9th. There's Ken Schrader. Matt Crafton trying to hang on in 10th. A run for this 31 team. Richard Childress has to be smiling behind that, behind those shades as he sits on top of that pit box. But now Rusty Wallace now diving down to the inside. We'll take one last look through the field so you can see where everyone is racing right now. Only one driver is a lap down. That is Ken Schrader in the 49. Almost some contact between Ward Burton and Jimmy Spencer there. Derek Cope in that 50 still trying to hang on. J.J. Yaley very underperforming for Joe Gibbs Racing. And now Dale Jr. is going to have to try to fight the Roush drivers like the Roush drivers tried to fight DEI. It was 1-on-2 at the Daytona 500. It was Kurt Busch all alone for Roush against Dale Jr. and Matt Kenseth. Now it's Kurt Busch and Mark Martin up front with only Dale Jr. There's Michael Waltrip, not Matt Kenseth. Tony Stewart sitting in 4th, looking for his 2nd win in a row, but it doesn't look like it's going to come today, especially with Roush being so dominant. Kurt Busch now trying to get attacked, and now Mark Martin in that 6 car dives down to the inside of Kurt Busch. Mark wants to be in this championship battle, and now they are side by side for that race lead with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and that number 8 Budweiser Chevrolet trying to make a move back there in 3rd. Hopefully the draft is slowing them down enough, but this 8 team, they said on the radio after that pit stop, the car got tight on them at the beginning of the run, and that's why he wasn't as strong up here, but now it's getting back into rhythm. It looks like the 8 car is better on long runs, so depending on what happens with this race, the 8 car could be the big factor in the end until pit stops. So we'll have to see if these guys will be able to stretch the fuel the entire way, if anyone will be able to play fuel strategy and save up to 9 laps of fuel, or will it just be who can get out in and out of the pit road the fastest. A caution could also throw a wrench in that. The battle for 7th has now calmed down. Kevin Harvick pulling away from Casey Kane. Battle now for 3rd, Dale Jr. versus Tony Stewart. The only Chevys inside this top 5. The rest are the Roush drivers, and then Ryan Newman in that 12. He's back in the 6th position. Jr. and Stewart battling once again. Now Kurt Busch in that 97. Bringing his momentum, bringing the draft right up on the 6 once again. And now Kurt Busch is going to look to the inside of Mark Martin there in that number 97 out the back bumper of Mark Martin here. You see he goes down, throws a bit of a block on Kurt Busch in that Irwin Industrial Tools Ford Taurus. And now Mark Martin continuing to lead over his teammate Matt Kenseth, trying to get that battle back there. And now there's Matt Kenseth in that 17 on the inside of Tony Stewart, as Junior is going to pull away once again from them. Ryan Newman trying to push himself up there behind Matt Kenseth. But the Roush duo up front of Martin and Kurt Busch, they are right now pulling away from the rest of the field. Stewart around on the outside. He's going to keep ahead of Ryan Newman, and that's the top 6. This is the 6-car battle for the win, but Kevin Harvick in that 29. As we said, he is a past winner here. He won the Golden Corral 500 in 2001 after replacing Dale Earnhardt Sr. Right now, Kevin Harvick, he sits in the 7th position, but him and Casey Kane starting to catch up to the 6-car front battle as these guys are fighting hard against each other. Kurt Busch all over the back of Mark Martin. We have 14 laps to go last time by, 13 to go this time by. And it is all the Roush duos up inside this top 4. 3 of the top 4 are the Roush Fords. The next highest running Ford that is not a Roush racing car, Elliott Sadler back in 13th and Dale Jarrett back in 14th. That it is Jeff Burton in 16th. And then Greg Biffle back in 20th. So Roush, all 5 cars inside the top 20 right now. And now Kurt Busch going right back to the inside on Mark Martin. That is the battle for the race lead once again. Can Dale Earnhardt Jr. try to make it 3 wide? I think that's what he's going to have to do. He has to force a move for a spot here. But Mark Martin holding the outside, almost comes right down on Kurt Busch. Now Matt Kenseth in that 17. He's moving that DeWalt Power Tools number 17 right into the mix. Of course, your defending champion, Roush, looking to go 2 in a row for the championship, but it looks like their powerhouse of a team still continuing on. Martin versus Kurt Busch is the battle for the race lead. Dale Jr., Matt Kenseth right behind it. Tony Stewart there. Kevin Harvick has gotten the draft of Ryan Newman. Now Matt Kenseth looks to the inside of Dale Jr. Can we get a Roush 1, 2, 3? Here we go. Coming around to 11 laps to go. These guys not able to break free of each other. Now Kurt Busch must be able to pull away from Mark Martin. That's what he's going to do. Kenseth drops back behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. That's going to bring Tony Stewart back into this battle. Dale Jr. now to the inside of Mark Martin. He has to break up these Roush cars if he wants a chance at getting through without these guys just piling on the draft against him. Down the back straightaway, you see the aerial shot of the 5 cars. Kenseth pushing Mark Martin down the back straightaway. Now Junior cannot hold it on the inside line. That's going to be Mark Martin possibly keeping that 2nd position. Now Tony Stewart works to the inside of Kenseth as Kurt Busch continues to pull away. 10 laps to go at Atlanta. As we run right now, Dale Jr. seated in 2nd. It's going to be about a 125-point difference between Kurt Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. coming out of this race. You see further back the RCR energy of Kevin Harvick now bringing it in. These guys, they're slowing down. We will have pit stops. There's no way for them to run this race to the end. So now we'll see who will have the best pit strategy, who will have the best pit crew. Coming around here to the end, Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, Harvick, and Kane stay out. It looks like this is the group that is going to be a lot of the drivers. Jeff Burton is coming on in as well. There, further back, Dave Blaney, these guys not going to come on in at the back. So it looks like next time around will be the big traffic. So now Matt Kenseth in that 17. He's going to bring them on down. Casey Kane in that 9. Will Kane? No. Kenseth and Kane will both stay out. Stewart and Harvick coming on in now. There's Ken Schrader. What if Ken Schrader could somehow pull out a win on this? He probably won't. He's 2 laps down, but it could happen. Ryan Vickers in that 25 stays out. Casey Mears as well. Everyone else coming back down. 3 wide almost coming onto pit road. Jimmy Spencer going high. Jeremy Mayfield, his pit crew screwed him up last time. We'll see what will happen this time. But now leader Matt Kenseth is going to have to bring himself on in. This is the question. Who goes for fuel only? Who goes for tires? Casey Kane is going to stay out an extra lap. What is he doing? Can he make it to the end? What if Casey Kane could make it to the end? But we do have now 7 laps to go at Atlanta. Let's go ahead back and see if we can get a look at the race leaders. There's Ryan Newman. There's Dale Earnhardt Jr. Terrible camera angles. Mark Martin, Kurt Busch. There he is. They're going to be fighting Tony Stewart on pit exit. Kurt Busch is going to blast right past him. And now Kurt Busch, that's pretty much locking him into this race lead. It's Stewart versus Martin further back. Kevin Harvick now inside the top 5. Bobby Labonte's still back there. Rusty Wallace. Jamie McMurray will have a top 10 spot possibly. Matt Crafton a little bit slow on his pit stop. Jeff Green as well. Dave Blaney, Jeremy Mayfield. His team keeps him out. Brendan Gaughan is Brendan Gaughan might have picked up a bunch of spots as well. There's Ken Schrader still, but now it does look like Casey Kane has taken it onto pit road, so that's going to be the end of Kane's chance at the win. Johnny Benson in that 09, is he going to be up here in fourth? I don't think so. I think he's going to be a lap car. But if he's up here in fourth, that's going to be... I'm pretty sure he has to be a lap car. We'll see where he comes out here. But it is Kurt Busch going across the line. No, there's Casey Kane coming on out. He's going to get passed by Kurt Busch, but Kane could be in the running for a top 5 run if he can get on track fast enough. Kane will drop back. It looks like Casey Kane's going to be up in the 3rd position, battling for 2nd with Mark Martin. That could be big if Kerry Earnhardt slows up Kurt Busch enough. But Kurt Busch is 1st, Mark Martin 2nd, Casey Kane 3rd, Stewart 4th, Newman 5th, Junior 6th, Harvick 7th, Kenseth 8th, Bobby Labonte 9th, Rusty Wallace 10th, Gordon's 11th, McMurray 12th, Waltrip 13th, Jeff Burton 14th, Dale Jarrett 15th, 16th Crafton, 17th Sadler, 18th Marlin, 19th Nemechek in the battle for 20th between Mears, Biffle, and Vickers. We're going to go back up front. We're going to watch this battle for the win. 3rd on back is the big battle. But Roush Racing has pulled away, and it looks like Kerry Earnhardt could be the one slowing him down. Casey Kane a little bit slow. Is there an issue on the 9? He's really slow. He throws Newman back to the drivers in the back, but now Kane dropping all the way back to the bottom. Kurt Busch versus Mark Martin. It's going to be Rockingham once again. 2 Roush drivers making a move for the race win. What a surprise. No crashes in this race, which is a big surprise for Atlanta. But now Mark Martin working his way under Kerry Earnhardt. We have 3 laps to go. Next flag will end the race. It looks like Kurt Busch has an easy chance at a victory. There's Ward Burton, Derek Cope. It looks like their pit crews really screwed them over. Scott Riggs as well. But I don't think they will be in the battle to slow down these race leaders. The battle now, Newman and Kenseth. That's the battle for the 6th position. Casey Kane, I think there is an issue on the car. He's very slow in that 9. He might have damage. He might have lost a cylinder, but the 9 team, very slow. He's dropping all the way to the back. Jeff Gordon up into 11th. The battle up front now. Car blown up on pit road. Matt Crafton, heartbreak for the 31 team. The equipment does not last on that car. Coming around, we have 2 laps to go. Mark Martin has reeled in Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch out in front. He's led most of this. Mark Martin has not been up front as much. Now he's going to try to work around Kurt. Coming around, we're going to have the white flag this time by. Martin is all over the back of Kurt Busch. Which Roush driver will win, or will they take each other out? What a finish that would be if Tony Stewart or Dale Jr. could take it back there. White flag, drag race across the line. Going into turn 1, Mark Martin on the inside of Kurt Busch for the race lead. Can Martin hang on? Busch on the outside, Martin on the inside. Busch has a win this season. Martin does not. You see the rest of them battling further back. It's going to be a drag race to the line here. Mark Martin on the inside. He pulls ahead, but Kurt Busch pulls back on the outside line. Coming off of the corner, who's going to have the momentum? It's going to be side by side right to the line. And Kurt Busch will score his 2nd victory of the season. Mark Martin in 2nd, Dale Jr. comes home 3rd, Tony Stewart 4th, and Kevin Harvick 5th, Newman 6th, Matt Kenseth 7th, 8th, Bobby Labonte, 9th, Rusty Wallace, and Jeff Gordon comes home 10th. Casey Kane, he's saying the engine was sputtering the entire last 5 laps. That's why he dropped all the way to bottom, but Kurt Busch comes home with his 2nd victory of the season, and he's had 4 finishes in a row of 3rd or better in the Nextel Cup season. What a run Roush is having. That is their 2nd 1-2 finish. Matt Kenseth comes home 6th. Kurt Busch is your winner at Atlanta. What a race for the 97 team. Heartbreak for all the Chevy drivers. RCR and Hendrick both having some engine issues, 2 piston problems on the 5 and the 31, but it is Kurt Busch taking home the victory. Thank you guys so much for watching the Golden Corral 500 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and we'll head on next week. Next week is the Southern 500 at Darlington. We'll see you guys next time.